What's up? What's up? It's your boy K, King to the B. Just wanted to do a video today, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over an interview that Joe Biden made. Joe Biden had some time yesterday before the DNC, or actually 2 days ago before the DNC kicked off, which is the Democratic National Committee or Convention. He had days to do some interviews. Well, this is what he ended up doing. He started doing an interview with the rapper Cardi B. So today, and remember, I don't own any rights to her video or anything to that nature. It's just simply wanted to put this out there because I find it absolutely incredible that the Democratic nominee would, instead of doing what I would say is a real interview, he did this trash. So first of all, let me set this up. And this isn't to bash Cardi B, okay? It's not to bash anybody. But I think we need to be realistic about the expectations. For instance, if Trump in the 90s would have tried to do if he was the president and he was doing an interview and he had everyone to choose from, he could go on Fox, he could go on CNN, he could go on NBC, but he chose to do Two Live Crew, then the media would not allow that because it is such a double standard. So let me tell you a couple things. First of all, about just, I guess, Cardi B in general. I mean, to begin, let me go ahead and see if I can pull up this picture real quick. So for those of you who don't know, this is the rapper Cardi B. I'm going to show you here in just a second. And I think it's important because let's go ahead and bring this up on the screen. So this is Cardi B. This is who we have decided should have a good, strong interview with our Democratic nominee. And yes, I made a joke on her name, Cardi HPV, and I'll get to that. I was going to do Cardi HIV. I mean, you could do whatever joke you wanted. But first of all, it's just straight nasty, okay? And she has no respect for her body. I mean, I guess this is new age feminism. Somehow this makes you a proud woman, which, again, it's not about bashing her, but it's about just being like, should she really be the representation for somebody that's going to be able to interview the president? I think maybe we should go a little higher class in that. She can do however she wants. She can dress in this outfit, go doing whatever she wants to do in her personal life. But the fact that we glamorize it by then throwing her on, and let's just go ahead for shites and giggles, and I'm going to show you guys the latest in, hold on, let me go here. Here we go. This is her latest music video. And again, I don't own rights to this, but this is important before we watch the video to be able to set up why I think that maybe she shouldn't have been the person that Joe Biden went and talked to. Ready?
I need a Henny drink, I need a smoke, not a garden snake. I need a king cobra with a hook in it. Hope it lean over. He got some money, then that's where I'm headed. He ain't one, just like his credit. He got a.
I really hope no kids are watching this.
He got Betty. I don't want to. I want to.
Now, if that isn't sexualizing women to a point where most girls think, hey, I can't even, like, that is not a realistic expectation of life, and it's really not. And a couple of other things, actually, before we get into this, that is important to discuss is that this is somebody who is glamorized, taking men home from the bar, getting them drunk, and then, according to her, robbing them. Now, once she got called out for this, she came back and said that she didn't do anything wrong. This was for her survival. What? Like, this is also a person that said, I only stripped to go to college, and then halfway through college dropped out. So what? Like, glamorizing, and I know some strippers. I mean, I know people that I grew up with that ended up going down that route, and their life took a turn for the negative, not even including that. Okay, went down into drugs and other things that were just not good. That is not something that should be glamorized. Now, look, everybody has a past. I'm not poo-pooing on anybody's past. But that video was from this year. These are all things that just happened. So now we're going to put her, let's go ahead, and I'm going to go through this, and let's watch the reaction from these people. Ready? First of all, I just think it's so funny. So we're going to go through this. This is just commentary. Again, I don't own the rights to this video. I'll have the link in the description below. Go ahead and check it out if you want to watch the whole thing yourself, but we will get to most of it here. Ready?
What are you? The name's Joe.
Well, not yet, Joe.
As a matter of fact, why don't you meet my daughter? The love of my life, the life of my love. She's a fan of yours.
Hi, how are you?
This is Ashley.
Good, how you doing?
You know the nickname she gave her father when she was growing up? She called me Joey B.
Okay, if anybody believes that, I've got a bridge in the middle of nowhere to sell you. He just tried to say, this pandering piece of garbage just tried to say that his daughter's nickname for him was Joey B. I'm sorry. The nickname for you should be Dad. Daddy, Pops, Father, Joey B. When you're talking to Cardi B, call me a skeptic, but I think you're full of crap, Joe. I really do. And then she has a mask on. Is she protecting Joe? Isn't this in his house? Like, what are you doing? Let's watch.
So we may be related or something.
Yep.
We may be related or something, because I'm Joey B and you're Cardi B. Look at his daughter, thinks that joke's hilarious. Woo! She may need to get out of the house more.
Cardi B and Joey B. I'm a huge fan.
Look at, first of all, Freddy Krueger. Okay? I understand, like, you're trying to, here's my point. It's funny because she clearly sees that the ratchet way she dresses when she's in a music video is different than the way she is in her professional life. I get that. She's a multimillionaire, but yet she kept these Freddy Krueger claws on. Let's go.
I feel so crazy because I feel like I'm a little bit late. But Biden, let me tell you something. When you have kids my age, like the one my age, 2 years old, your schedule never go as planned. You know what I'm saying?
You're telling me? I got 4 kids, 5 grandkids. Come on.
Come on.
I'm an expert. I understand about kids. The most important thing in the world. They come first.
Yes, definitely. Always.
Always. They always come first. Wait till what she says later.
So, Joe, I heard you got some questions for me.
Oh, I do have some questions for you. First of all, I want to congratulate you. The cover of, I tell you, that's pretty good. That's pretty big time. Number one, doesn't surprise me. You're on the cover. But number two,
Yes.
Thanks for your generosity dealing with people who are suffering from COVID. There's so many people who needlessly are in trouble, who are needlessly have died when they didn't have to, if we had taken the precautions we needed to. And
Did you notice how Joe had two options here? Joe could have said, we had too many needless people die. He could have been presidential, and he could have said, it is a shame that China is allowed to get away with this, and we are going to make sure that China never does this again. But let's see if he's presidential.
thank you. You have a generous heart. You have a generous heart. And what I wanted to know was, tell me what's your main interest in terms.
Dropping that booty, Joe. Have you not watched the video? She liked that thing wet and gushy.
In terms of this election.
I have a whole
Good thing he cleared up in terms of this election, because I think he knows what Cardi B likes to do.
list of things that I want and I wish and I desire for our next president to do for us. But first thing first, let me give it.
First and first? Pretty sure she means first things first. Come on, Cardi. You've only ever lived in America your whole entire life. You have to know how to speak a little bit. First things first.
I just want Trump out. You know what I'm saying?
All the things you could want in this world. You could want world peace. You could want COVID to end. You could want drugs off the streets. You could want less murder, less violence. And your answer is the number one thing, first, you want to have Trump out of office. Okay. Good call there, Cardi B. Well, way to aim high, Cardi.
I'm saying, I just feel like
You know what I'm
it
saying?
gets us in trouble so much. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want, like, you know, we're dealing with a pandemic right now, right? And I just want answers. I want to know when this is over. Like, you know, I want to go back to my job.
Okay, here's another lie. So she lives in New York, which has had 0 deaths multiple times in the last month. What do you mean, Cardi B? You live in New York. You could definitely go outside. You buffoon. Maybe you should do a little research. You can clearly go outside. I mean, look at Joe's face right here. Look at his face. What? That's my Joe Biden face. My slow Joe. All right.
I want to be able to go outside. I want to
You
be
can.
able not to feel like I'm trapped in my home. But
You complaining about being trapped in your million? Okay, whatever.
I don't want somebody to lie to me and tell me that it's okay to go outside.
She doesn't want someone to tell her it's okay to go outside, when literally the data shows it's okay for her to go outside. Let that resonate for a minute. She knows it's okay to go outside. She doesn't want to know it's okay to go outside. She wants somebody to tell her not that things are going to be better. What are you talking about?
It's okay not to wear a mask. That everything is going to be okay.
Trump wears a mask and has said it's patriotic to wear a mask. But carry on.
No,
But she doesn't like lying.
I want like a timeline of when things are going to get better.
All right, looky here. Cardi B for brain dead. You want a timeline? Watch what you won't get right now from Joe Biden. You know what it is? A timeline, sweetheart. Because get this. Okay. There is no timeline, clown girl. There is no timeline. Nobody knows a timeline. Gosh damn. Quit being the world of stupid.
I want a president to tell me what are the steps for us to get better besides, taking precautions like with our masks and quarantine.
Okay, nobody who's watching this video, if you're a Democrat and you've made it this far, first of all, kudos to you. But the truth is, you're not going to be able to say anything that Biden has said or President Trump or anybody has said outside of precautions, because this is a new thing. You dummy. It is a new thing. So they don't know. Just like Biden doesn't know. Look at his face again. He looks like he's squeezing a turd out right now. Look at him. He looks like he just smelled a mothball and now he's going to take a turd. Like right now he's sitting on a toilet in his bathroom and nobody realizes it. Okay? Now what he's not going to say is answer any of these questions he's asking, because there's actually no answer to them. But carry on, Cardi.
I need somebody to tell me, like, this is going to be over when we find this cure. This is why it's taking so long.
Did you hear what she just said? She needs somebody to tell her it's going to be over once we find a cure. Well, no shit, Cardi. Have you been watching too many movies, hun? Of course, if we find a cure, it's cured. You need somebody to tell you that? Look in here, Cardi. If we find a cure, it's going to be cured. That's what a cure does. Come on, dummy. I mean, I don't want to be mean to you, Cardi. I don't want to be mean, even though I paused this video at probably the most accurate representation of these two idiots. Look, he's sitting there constipated. He doesn't know what she's talking about. And this is probably the image you find of her the most on the internet. But I digress. Carry on.
This is why other countries are doing better than ours when it comes to this pandemic. I need somebody to tell me the truth, the hardcore truth. And
you are, and you're not listening.
Also, I, of course, want free Medicare.
Of course, she wants free Medicare.
And this is why it's important to have free Medicare, because look what's happening right now. You see why we should have been have free Medicare for.
Free Medicare wouldn't do anything right now. People are not dying at their house from this. People are dying in hospitals, which means they have coverage. Poor people have Medicare, okay? Or poor people have Medicaid. Old people have Medicare. We have that. Like, what are you talking about? All people don't need it. No, sorry. People like their own health care. It's one of the reasons why our death rate is so much better than everywhere else in the country, every other country in the world. Go check it out. Most countries in the world have far, far worse. This is a fact. You can look it up. Italy, France, UK, Spain. These places have far worse death rate than we do. It's because of our medicine. Thanks, Cardi. Come on, get educated. Killing me.
Time. I, of course, think that we need free college education. That's.
Whew. You need free college education? You dropped out of school, and not because of the money. You dropped out of school because you wanted to be famous. So what would you have done with that? The government would have paid for you to go to school half the time, and then you go and you just become a stripper, and then you start stealing from guys, and then somebody puts you, because they think you're such a blooming personality, they put you on one of these shows where it's supposed to be a bunch of ratchet train wrecks. And then what? Do you pay back the government or what? Like everyone, somebody that makes $500,000 a year should have free college? Does that even make sense? Like,
second, and I want Black people to stop getting killed. And
you want Black people to stop being killed. Everyone wants Black people to stop being killed. That's like, what? I want people to breathe oxygen. Yeah. Nobody wants Black people to die there, big dummy.
No justice for it. I'm tired of it. I just want more stricter laws.
Woo! Her solution is more stricter. Okay, I guess that's how we speak now. More stricter laws. That's what she wants. She wants more stricter laws. More stricter laws. How is that going to help keep Black people alive? How's that not going to put more Black people in jail? This guy's the king of stricter laws. He strike 3 and put so many Black fathers in jail. It's silly. He filled the court system, filled the penal system with Black people. Joe Biden did with his 3-strike law. I guess she's on board. She wants stricter laws.
That is fair to Black citizens. And, it's fair for cops too. If you kill somebody that doesn't have a weapon on them, you go to jail. You know what? If I kill somebody, I got to go to jail. You got to go to jail too.
Of course, Cardi. Anyone that kills somebody, they get found guilty of murder. They go to jail. Did she just burp?
That's what I want. And it's so sad that
listen to this moron.
Jail. You gotta go to jail too. That's what I want. And it's so sad.
That's all you want. Earlier you said you had a list.
Has to happen so people could open their eyes on seeing what type of person are they dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you're really confusing the people. Like, one day you're telling them that this is nothing, that people need to stop getting tested because they're going to get it anyways. Next thing you know, you have a mask in your face, and you're really playing games, not with us, not the wolves. You're playing games with the people that support you. All of this has to happen, this crazy stuff that has to happen so they could open their eyes for the past 4 years.
Well, it doesn't have to happen. For example, in 2016, if 18 to 23 or 4-year-olds.
Come on, Joe. Joe, this is not, she didn't bring up this point. You have this written down, Joe. Is it a 23-year-old or is it a 24-year-old, Joe? This is not coming off the top of your head. Come on, Joe. You can do it, Joe.
Have voted in the same percentage as the rest of the population, we would have had Hillary Clinton, not him. The vote matters. That's why you keep talking to people about the need to vote. The vote matters.
If 18-year-olds voted as much as every age block, this guy a moron? Earth to Slow Joe. Slow Joe. Slow Joe. Wake up, buddy. Like, of course, 18-year-olds ain't going to vote as much as a 45-year-old. An 18-year-old didn't pay anything in taxes. An 18-year-old doesn't have a whole bunch that the government's doing for them. They're not interacting with the government on a regular basis. They just turned 18 years old. Of course, they're not going to vote as much as somebody that's 35 with 3 kids. Like, come on, Joe. Come on, Slow Joe.
It matters a great deal. And so we got to look, the generation, your generation and the young millennials beyond that, they can own this. They can own this outcome. And they can own what happens in the next election. They are the ones that can change things dramatically.
She's 32 years old, Joe. She's not 18.
Fans most say to you when they communicate with you online. What
I know what they tell her. Got that WAP, baby.
What are they most concerned about?
Obviously, free college education.
Most of her friends.
Free Medicare, especially now that, people are just getting sick left to right. And that's why I keep telling people, because sometimes people have problems in their community. They just wonder, like, for example, a lot of after school programs that I was growing up with, there's no after school programs a lot anymore in my hood.
That's right.
And it's like, people are just wondering why is that?
Because people don't want to pay the taxes for it. And that's why this whole thing about government's bad has been such a downer for the things that really.
This is very important. Listen to what they say here.
Matter to you and me. I was doing very well as a single dad when my wife and daughter got killed. And I had 2 boys that survived that accident. I didn't have the money to have someone take care of my kids. Thank God I had my sister and my brother and my mother who helped me. My sister moved in with me when she and her husband. But look at all the people who don't have that kind of help.
And you want to know something, talking to you, I'm always so focused on Medicare and college education. And I never really thought about how important is childcare. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like nobody's more motivated than a mom. Nobody want to go and.
Nobody's more motivated than a mom or a dad. Just saying.
Also out there and get that money for the kid. Once you become a mom.
Get that money for the kid? Hold on. Let's let this play out.
You changed completely. Your mindset changed completely. But it's like, how are you supposed to do that when you probably don't have a babysitter for your kid?
What do you mean you don't have a babysitter for your kid? First of all, you're supposed to be in a relationship when you have kids. Okay? So the idea that you beg for the government to babysit your kids because you didn't have your relationship work is just absolutely silly. It is silly. Like, it makes no sense. The government's supposed to pay for your daycare? Like, what? You're a millionaire. What do you mean somebody, maybe they can't find a babysitter? I had a single mom. They had babysitters. You can find babysitters. I assure you. You can find a babysitter, or you can get in a relationship and that person can help watch your kids. And then if you can't find a babysitter, you have to find jobs you can do with a kid because you decided to have a kid.
And I'm like, fortunately for me, I'm able to, have my mom take care of my child.
You're fortunate because your mom can take care of your child. I thought you just said your child was the most important thing in your life. The most important thing. Where is the dude at? Where is the dad? Good, lucky you have a mom. Where's lucky you have a man? Where is your dude?
Child, but a lot of people, like, it's like their mom cannot retire and take care of their kids. Like, their mom has to work too.
One of the things that I admire about you is you keep talking about what I call equity, just decency, fairness, treating people with respect. John Lewis used to say the vote is the most powerful non-violent his dogs. He thought he was going to drive a wooden stake into the heart of the civil rights movement. But when all those folks who never realized, never saw before what was happening in the South. They lived in places where there were very few black people, didn't know any black people. All of a sudden, they saw Bull Connor with dogs ripping off the clothes of black women, elderly women going to church, and kids being knocked down with fire hoses and their skin being ripped off. All of a sudden, as Dr. King said, we had the second emancipation. We had the Voting Rights Act and we had the Civil Rights Act.
Okay, just to be clear, one of the leaders of that guy was Strom Thurmond, who guess who was good buddies with him? This guy. This guy spoke at a KKK member's funeral. This guy did. So this guy is literally the pot calling the kettle black, trying to act like we're the same place now as a country as we were back in the 1950s, okay? When this guy right here, his closest mentor was Strom Thurmond, who didn't want any rights for black people. What? Joe, you're talking about yourself, buddy.
It changed things because people said, oh my God, that's happening. I think I heard you say somewhere along the line what I've been saying. This cell phone has changed America because what happens now? We're at a point where some brave kid, 15 years old, can stand there and for a total of 8 minutes and 46 seconds take a photograph of a black man.
It's a video, Joe. It's a video, Joe. It's not an 8-minute photograph. Come on, Joe.
And whose family I know.
Whose family I know? You know them now, Joe. Everybody knows them now.
Met with and understand and spent time with.
Man, that's a virtue signal. The man's family. I know. I spent time with. I talked to him. We chilled together.
And watched him brutally murdered. And people around the world were saying, my God, it really happens? Because I'm not in a neighborhood like that. I don't come from a place. And now, guess what? They're demanding change.
Like people, we're not at.
Man, he must have said some dumb shit. Because y'all notice how they cut Joe's speech right there? Watch this. I bet you said something stupid. Watch this again. Watch how they cut the tape. Watch.
Like that. I don't come from a place. And now, guess what? They're demanding change.
Watch this.
Like people.
Cut.
We're not asking for sympathy. We're not asking for charity.
You're not asking for charity. You just came on and talked about how you wanted to have free stuff. What are you talking? You just said you wanted free stuff, but you don't want charity?
We are just asking for equality.
That's
we
it.
are asking fairness, and we are
Tony Timpa, you want equality. Tony Timpa's, the same thing happened to him, happened to George Floyd. The difference is George Floyd didn't call the police on himself. George Floyd was writing a bad check or a fake check or whatever he did, and the police got called on him. Tony Timpa called the police on himself. They both had drugs in their system. Tony Timpa had cocaine in his system. George Floyd had multiple drugs in his system. George Floyd was held down for over 8 minutes. Tony Timpa was held down for 13 minutes. Tony Timpa died. Everyone was making fun of him and laughing at him, and not a single police officer lost his job or got any charges put against him. But carry on.
asking for justice. That is all. I feel like everything that people are asking for is getting interpreted in a very different way. No, it's simple. We just want justice. That's all. We want justice. We want to feel like Americans. We want equality.
Treat me with respect.
Yes, with respect.
Respect.
Everybody wants to be treated with respect. Everyone. And everybody generally gives respect to people who respect them. That is a very normal thing. You're acting like this is something different. Like black people just walk down the street getting disrespected by every white person. There's just a big white group of people going around disrespecting black people. The police are just walking through neighborhoods disrespecting people based on the fact that they're black. No, cops disrespect people because they have power. So it does happen, but it's based on power.
That's where I think you're seeing a real, look, I have a friend who is a congressman in Mississippi, Benny Thompson, and a very well-known congressman, African-American.
Did he just drop the I have a black friend? That is the long way of saying I have a black friend. Here we go. Let's go, Slow Joe.
He called me 2 weeks ago. He said, Joe, I just came from a protest in Mississippi. He said, and I looked out there, and there were I forget how many people. He said there was many white kids marching as black kids. This is Mississippi, Joe. Things are changing, Joe.
Slow, Joe. Listen to me, son. Of course white people are marching with black people. Most white people aren't racist, Joe. You're racist. You're racist. Your mindset is so stuck on race, you can't get it out of there. Joe, white people and black people do all kinds of stuff together all the time. All the time. Wake up, Joe. Now that your black friend told you, maybe you believe it. But white people and black people do stuff all the time. It's not this big change that's happening right now. I'm sorry. If you just became non-racist yesterday, you're a racist piece of trash. Sorry, you're either racist or you're not racist. Like, it's pretty simple. Either you have hate in your heart based on somebody being different than you and the color of their skin, or you don't. You didn't wake up yesterday morning and decide not to be racist. What? Being racist is a cognitive decision. You're not naturally racist.
The reason I'm so optimistic is because of your generation. You're the smartest, the best educated.
She's the smartest, the best educated. First of all, those two things are very close to being the same thing. They're not the exact same thing, but they're pretty close.
The least prejudiced and the most engaged generation in American history. And you're going to change things. You're going to change them. You're the reason I have such incredible hope. I really mean it. I'm not trying to be nice. It's a fact. That's what's going to change things. The rest of the world's always looked to us. Why have they looked to us? Not because we're so powerful, but the power of our example. Look what they're seeing now with this president.
Isn't this funny? Joe Biden just talked about how everyone has always looked up to us because of our example. I completely agree, Joe. I completely agree. That's the reason everyone has looked up to us. Because we fought against racism. Because we fought to free slaves. Because we have been the leading edge of freedoms across the entire world. I agree with you, Joe. It didn't just stop when Trump became president. You were vice president for 8 years before this. So if there's any stepwards back, you got to look in the mirror, Joe.
He's literally promoting hatred, promoting prejudice, promoting racism, talking about protecting the Confederate flag when Mississippi takes it off their flag and he's defending it. He's talking about statues. I mean, what? This is all about.
He's not talking about statues, clown boy. The left is talking about statues and the removal of statues. The Confederate flag, whether you like it or not, is freedom of speech. I don't rock the Confederate flag. I mean, that's silly to me. But if somebody wants to, who am I to tell them they can't? That is the freedoms that other countries look at and admire. It's not because we support the Confederate flag. It's because people have the right to wave it, even if we have the right to disagree with it. That's how freedom works, Joe.
Wow. It's all about the game of making people hate each other, because that's how he wins.
No, the media, and you too right now. Cardi said her number one thing was to get rid of Trump. That's because she hates him. The hate of Trump far supersedes the hate from Trump. It's not even close. And anyone that's being realistic knows that's true.
Dividing us. You're going to change it. Your
Cardi B is going
to.
They're not.
The new generation, my fans, my people. That is like, this is why we have to go out and vote. I know that the young generation right now, with social media, we are just so eager to make money. To look a certain type of way, to have style.
Is this the most hypocritical thing you've ever heard somebody say in your life? We just want money. Remember, she dropped out of college to go be on a VH1 show, be as ratchet as possible in order to make money. Then once she started making money that way, she became a product rapper, which is where somebody writes all your lyrics and you end up reading them off and dressing as sexy as possible and sounding as ignorant as possible so that people who are stupid can think, oh, if I have big titties and a nice ass, I can wear a bikini, drop it up and down, talk about how wet my privates are, and I'm going to make money off of it. That's exactly what she does. Exactly what she does. It's not like she stepped away from the rap game once she got it out of poverty and now, no. She's literally telling kids that these types of things are okay and pushing this horrible rhetoric for money. She's a complete and utter sellout.
Celebrity gossip, and it's like, what?
She's telling people that there's a problem with celebrity gossip. She was on these VH1 shows that promote exactly gossip. That's all they do. It's literally a gossip show.
How do we make a change for real and just vote?
In the primaries, they kept saying,
no, you want to make a change for real, Cardi? Start looking professional. Start talking to young women about actually respecting themselves. Start talking about how they can earn money without popping their puss, without showing their wet and gushy. Okay? That's how you raise people up. That's how you change a society. Not by telling people to vote while you're promoting wet and gushy.
saying, well, there's not that many people voting. Biden's not going to excite anybody. We had the largest turnout in the primaries ever. People are ready. They're ready, and they know we can change it. But look.
Just so everybody out there knows, the primaries are always setting records because there's new people born every year and there's more people in this country every year. But carry on. The percentages are not the greatest ever.
There's a lot, but we really rely on people like you. And let me tell you something.
They cut it again. He must have said something stupid. You're relying on Cardi B. You're relying on a person who literally said they were going to rob people, has music that totally denigrates women empowerment, okay? Totally has just, it's not like this stuff's in her rearview mirror. This is actually how she lives right now. Someone that talked about how they put their kid first, but they can't find babysitters for their kid. I mean, and yet she has enough money that she could do a lot of different things and spend time with her kids. And yet this is the person that is going to sway the elections. You think her fan base is going to be the one that sways the election. Maybe you don't understand, Joe. You got to be 18 to vote. And most people, her fan base is more like 15 to 21, and that demographic does not vote. I know you want them to vote so you can get those extra votes for people that have no idea what they're talking about. Just like Kamala Harris said, people under 25 are stupid. That's what she said, not me. I don't think that way, but that's what Kamala Harris said. And then yet at the same time said 16-year-olds should vote. So I think huge fans who are going to listen to Cardi B's opinion on politics, I think them voting is probably not the right direction for the country.
The American people have never, ever, ever let their country down, given half a chance. Never.
Exactly. That's why we voted for Trump.
Like corporate America, they've been battered by this president.
Did he say like corporate America? Let's listen to that again.
Never let their country down, given half a chance. Never. And they've been battered like corporate America. They've been battered by this president, particularly. And the way in which he's able to continue to divide it, he appeals to the outright prejudice of some of those in that community that don't have any money. And he just appeals to their prejudice. He spews hate.
Joe, you're the only one that said anything prejudice. You say prejudice stuff almost weekly. What are you talking about, bro? You've said a lot of racist things, specifically racist things. Trump did not. They have to cut his speeches up to try to create some racist comment that he made.
We got to stop it.
Prejudice is just awful, dangerous.
Prejudicism.
It's like it could be a start of a civil war. It makes people feel uncomfortable around different people. Nobody wants to feel targeted. Nobody wants animosity. We just want the best for us. Everybody wants the best for themselves, their future, and their people. I don't want to live to tell my kid, like, you have to be careful going to the store.
You don't want to have to tell your kid to be careful to go to the store. Let me tell you something, Cardi. As a father with kids, you should always tell your kid to go to the store and be careful. That's part of being a parent, Cardi. Because there's probably people who listen to your music who are going to immediately want my daughters to look like hookers, and it's probably not good for them.
Don't wear this certain type of clothes. Don't wear a mask. Don't wear a hoodie. Please don't get stopped. We don't want that, and I don't want to feel a certain type of hate, a certain type of animosity for a different race because I feel like they get it easier than us. I don't want to feel like that.
So she said she doesn't want to feel like that, which means that she does feel like that, right? If you don't want to feel the anger in your heart, that means you have anger in your heart. So she just literally said that she hates white people, or not literally, I guess, figuratively, says that she hates white people because they have it easier than her. Easier than you, Cardi? Easier than you. You've been famous since you were 25, 23? Sorry, Cardi. You make your life difficult.
Nobody wants to feel like that. Like it's like why can't we just work with each other? Why and you know, and racism always have existed, but I feel like right now there's just a lot of tension, and we need somebody to
the media.
That. I'm just so tired of it.
Well,
I
by
don't
the
want to
way,
do it.
you know, the country's been mourning. What you're finding now is the vast majority of the American people understand what's going on. My mom used to have an expression.
They cut that.
The greatest virtue of all is courage. Because without courage, you couldn't love with abandon. And without courage, none of the other virtues would exist. It's time for some courage, and you're exercising. You and other people, if I get elected president, free college education for 4 years of college, flat out. Anybody with a family less than 125 grand, you're going to get a free education. Everybody gets free education for.
So if I make 30 grand and I paid off my education, and you pay it off for people 125,000, do you send a check to the people that paid off their college?
Community college. Everybody wants to go on and become.
What did you just say?
Community college. Out. Anybody with a family less than 125 grand, you're going to get a free education. Everybody gets free education for community college.
You free education for community college? What does that mean, Joe? Free education for community college. So you can only go to community college? You just said 4 years. Community colleges are 2-year colleges, Joe. Come on, Joe. Read your cue cards, Joe. Slow, Joe. Read your cue cards.
Everybody wants to go on and become an apprentice free.
Let me tell you about my college.
Everyone wants to become an apprentice free? Joe, what are you talking about? What?
Wants to go on and become an apprentice free.
Become an apprentice free? What the hell is an apprentice free?
Let me tell you about my college experience, right?
Let me just talk about an apprentice real quick. The reason why you're an apprentice is because you're learning how to do a craft. You're not going to do that for free. So I don't know what he's talking about, but go ahead.
Yep.
You know, I'm from New York, so when you're in high school.
You're from Manhattan, but carry on.
Or in middle school, they give you a free Metro card so you could travel, for you to be able to go to your school. And of course, they gave me free lunch. When I was in college, I had to get a job because I really needed $5 every single day to be able to go from Washington Heights to Chambers Street. And then I had to feed myself. Sometimes I had to.
She had to get a job in college. Hey, Cardi, most people work in college there. Sorry, pal. Kind of entitlement.
I had to wait from 1 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m. That's my schedule to get home so I could be able to eat, because that whole time right there, I couldn't afford to go to McDonald's.
McDonald's is $1. You lying scussy. Okay? McDonald's is $1. You can definitely afford $1. Dollars to dollar. I would bet any amount of money. If we found a picture of Cardi when she was 15 years old, she had an iPhone. No doubt. You're going to tell me you couldn't afford McDonald's and then, you'd have had to work. Well, get a job. What are you talking about? Go to work. Go to work. Knock on some doors. You were robbing people. You had ways to get money. You stripped. You had money. What are you talking about? High school?
I couldn't afford to go to any restaurants around Chambers Street on my break. And you have to pay for lunch, the school lunch there. So I was just starving, and I just felt so discouraged. So I just feel like that is so important, like to finance students while they're in college, because they get really discouraged. That's what people want.
Work. Remember, she's not talking about high school. She's talking about college. Work. Not work. I mean, actually get a job. Not this kind of job, Cardi, an actual job. Okay? People can get jobs. People can work. People can pay. This is the reason why people are against school lunches. Because you are so entitled that you feel like all the way through college, somebody should be paying for your food. Go work. It's incredible, the stupidity.
People want to know, can you provide college education, this Medicare plan, without a big chunk of taxes coming out of our check?
The way we can pay for all of this is doing practical things, like making sure that no corporation making a...
Look how they cut his stuff up. I'm sorry, but it's just funny to me. Watch how they cut his stuff up.
College education, this Medicare
Watch how they glitches, because I'm sure he was talking about nothing.
Chunk of taxes coming out of our check.
The way we can pay for all of this is doing practical things, like making sure that no corporation
glitched again.
Pay less than 15% tax on their profit. None. Zero. Everybody has to pay their fair share. Thank you for your willingness to help.
All right, that's all I got. I'm sure it's fine that it's demonetized. I'm making money off these things anyways. But I just think everybody out there, please pay attention to what's going on. Watch what people say and realize that the truth is always going to come if you pay attention to it and look over it. Good luck, everybody. Please share and subscribe.